Okay, everybody, I'm about to teach you a great yoga class. It's anti-aging exercise, or you can call it yoga. And today we're going to be working on our strength, whole body strength, a bit of all over strength. We'll be working on flexibility and also balance. And then if you're really good at that, you can do some relaxation at the end. And I know you people on YouTube, I know it's at home, it's hard to do a whole 70-minute class. So even if you do half, it's better than doing nothing. But if you can get through the whole 70 minutes at home, you are very self-motivated and very disciplined. So well done. You guys here, you're here, so you can't go anywhere. So you've got to get through the 70 minutes. So enjoy the class. And we're going to start just lying on our back and hugging in our left knee and straightening out our right leg, and just taking our awareness into our body straight up, and just steady, natural breath in and out through the nose mainly. And we'll have a slow start, and then we'll build up to some core, a little bit of flow, a bit of balance, working on that whole body today, a bit of flexibility. Next exhalation, final exhalation, try to hug the knee in a bit closer. And then swapping, hugging in your right knee, extend out through your left leg. And sometimes I like to jiggle around, just jiggle the knee a bit to get more release into those deep hip flexors softening. And you're flexing into the hip, knee and the lumbar spine there. Make sure the tops of the shoulders are down, not creeping up. Try to keep your face soft. Try to keep your breath steady, in and out through the nose most of the time. Final exhalation, next exhalation. And then both knees in, and then knee circles out, so you feel your inner thighs stretch, and then together, inhale, stretch your inner thighs, and then exhale, contract, squeeze your knees together, contract and stretch, stimulating blood flow and oiling up our hips, and also working on that deep flexion in the lumbar. And then go the other direction, circle your knees out and together. One more. And then into your windscreen wiper with your arms going across and your feet a bit wider than hip width. And you can go inhale, center, exhale, twist. So sometimes it's nice to just move a bit faster, and that's fine. And sometimes it's nice to move a bit more slowly for a calming effect. Moving with a more meditative effect, you just go slowly with the breath. But if you feel like you just want to move, that's fine as well. Good, good. So really oiling up the hips and spine and getting a little thoracic release too. Hopefully your knees are starting to come a little bit closer to the floor as you warm up and stimulate lubrication. Usually the muscles do go a bit further, the joints get a bit more mobility as you repeat. And then centering up, hands and feet in the air, spread fingers and toes out wide, and then curl the toes, make a fist, do a bit of that, and you can do the inhale, exhale if you feel like that. I also like to add on squeezing my belly. When I make a fist, squeeze your belly and your pelvic floor in Mula Bandha. So spread and then contract, so not just the hands and feet, but the deep core contracting as well on the exhale. And then two more. Really good for blood flow, that one. And then rotate ankles and wrists slowly one way. Slower, you get a more full range of movement. and then back the other direction. And then we're going to come to all fours. You could roll to your side, you could rock up to sitting or a squat and climb around to your all fours. And then to your cat-cow, which you all know. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, look at your belly button. Try to, when you exhale, squeeze your belly, and you're going to stimulate that blood flow more and also get a bit more muscular release in the back. So if you squeeze the belly, your lower back will release a bit more. And then trying to lengthen the belly and trying to squeeze in the shoulder blades when you inhale. And you get a bit more lift in the chest. Also add on looking forward and up a little bit at the end of the inhale. Lift your gaze, and the end of the exhale, looking towards your belly button. And then sit if you can, come back to the kneeling and stretch forward. Try to reach your sit bones back to your heels and your chest towards the floor. So you can make it quite passive and relaxing, or if you feel like it, you can make it very active. You can really work some deep muscles. If you want to make it active, do a little bit of that. Try to get your sitting bones touching your heels and your chest touching the floor at the same time. So look, hardly anybody could do that. I mean, it's possible, but it's not the point of whether you can do it or not. It's just doing your best is good for your back. It's good for flexibility in your ankles, especially if you do a lot of walking or running or work on your feet. And it's also quite calming. Very good. Final exhalation in that pose. Okay, and then we're going to put our right elbow down and lift up into our side plank, and easier is with the bent knees and harder is with the straight legs. So we're going to hold for up to, some of you, 30 seconds, roughly 30 to 60 seconds. So I'm using my phone to film, so I can't time it. I'll time it in my head. Oh, I've got my watch actually. Yeah, so that's 15 seconds. So it's just taking it to your own edge, keeping your alignment through your neck, feeling some deep muscles, and building up to the longer hold. So don't do too much too soon, because that's over half. That's over 30 seconds if you lift the hips. Yep. Hold. Yes, good. Yeah, feel that lift, feel those muscles. Shoulders down. Yep, very good. So you only got 10 more seconds if you're doing the longer hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So try elbow plank with your left elbow down, and you can have bent knees. Bent knees is easier, and straight legs, you build up to that harder one, and you build up, starting now the countdown, you build up to the longer holds. It's not really too much about time, it's about your muscles taking it to your edge, where you feel like, okay, I'm really feeling I'm working hard, but not too hard that you strain your neck or your shoulder. Feel it's very, very good for deep strength, bone density, core, metabolism, energy, health, longevity. Okay, well, you're over halfway now. Well done, you guys. 10 more seconds if you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I want you to put the left hand down and lift the right leg into the air. Left hand down and just hold that right leg up. And you can put your elbow down if you hurts your hand. So this is about 30-second hold. Let me have a look at that leg there. Yeah, so feeling some muscles here in your right hip. That's it, good. Good alignment. Yeah, just put your head wherever's comfortable. Feel those muscles there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then put your right hand down and hold your left leg in the air. Okay, so let's go 30 seconds. 20, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you felt some muscles then. So let's go onto our elbows and let's have our feet together. And this one's 60 seconds, if you can, starting now. So elbow plank. And I'm going to check no one's hips are sagging. So if you're at home on YouTube, make sure you don't sag in your hips like I am here, because then your lower back's tensing. So you've got to hold that squeeze in your belly, posterior, tuck your pelvis, tuck your tailbone, and squeeze in your lower front ribs in. And really, yeah, so that's hard, that's 30 seconds. So for a lot of people, that's enough. So it's fine that if you're big in it or if you've got a shoulder injury. This can be good for some shoulder stability, some shoulder injuries. Good, good. Yeah, everything good, good. Good alignment, all of you. And then 10 more counts for the 60-second hold. That's it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, lying on your belly, but if you have a thin mat, you might need a blanket under your pubic bone or another yoga mat. So see if you can just hold your legs up and as you try to touch your heels with your hands and squeezing your belly to help your back. And yeah, honest, if you want it to be harder, obviously, if you lift your thighs up more and your chest up more and you reach back more, that's harder. And this is a 30-second hold, but maybe not for beginners. I probably wouldn't do 30 seconds. Let's go 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's one of the best ones for not getting a rounded posture. Downward dog. Just quickly check your hands are pretty parallel through your wrists and pretty aligned through your hands and your feet, and just holding your downward dog. And also you build up to the longer hold here. So if you're a beginner at home, not too long, because it can aggravate neck and shoulders. But otherwise we usually go a minute or a bit over a minute, but some of you might not want to do that. So just be careful of, if you have a stiff neck, I probably wouldn't do too long. I'd just do little hold, little rest, back to the kneeling. Yeah. Final few breaths, so you can get a bit more stretch in your downward dog. Yeah, good, good, good. So we're going to sit on our bottom now, and to make it easier, we'll all start with easier. Put your feet on the floor and just lean back a bit. And so lean back a bit, and sort of come upright, lean back. I need a bit more padding. This is a bit too thin, my tailbone's digging. So you just lean back and then coming back. So just lean back at your edge, feel the muscles stabilising, and then coming back up. So if you want it to be harder, so you kind of lift your feet up, lean back a bit more, and see feet aren't touching. That's harder. So harder as you almost touch the floor, almost, and then you slowly come up, and then slowly going down. That makes it harder as well. So it's up to you. It's your back. And yoga, people think it's this safe, gentle exercise. It's not. It's not. It's powerful. There's a lot of injuries. It's not gentle. It can be incredibly vigorous. So you just do your own thing here. Oh, it's hard. Really feel some deep muscles. Just get the right dose for your back. Looks good, looks good. Okay, and then we're going to come into the hold. So the hold is feet easier, lean back a little bit. That might be edge, 20 seconds. Some of you do more. Some of you do more. Oh, the more you lean back, the harder it is. 10, 9, 8, 7. You don't need to do meditative breathing here. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, good. Up dog, down dog, or cat cow. So you know cat cow because I've already done that. Or you could do the up dog, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. If you pop your knees down, it's a bit easier. If you want this to be harder, you come over your toes, but be careful of that. You need to have a strong core to get that lift over your toes. Because I've had a few people, or at least one person, overstretch their foot because they didn't lift out. They took too much stretch in their foot and got a little ligament strain, which was, and it wasn't too bad, but you don't want that. One more or two more, cat, cow, up dog, down dog. Okay, we're going to step our right foot forward and come up to a standing high lunge. Okay, so you're trying to posterior tilt. So you've got quite a neutral pelvis and your lower back's lengthened. So you're not like that. And then we'll do elbows clasped or reverse prayer. And you can look straight ahead or up a little bit. So just make sure your lower back's happy. Your front knee's stable. Your chest is lifted, not jutting out your lower front ribs. And the most important thing, what's that? What's the most important thing in yoga? What was that? Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy. Enjoy your young body that's not going to be younger than it is today in this yoga class. But yeah, knee alignment is pretty important too. Good, good. Final inhalation. And you can either go exhale, down dog, or plank chaturanga up dog, down dog, or just stretching foot. So the easiest one is I'm doing that. Stepping to down dog is the middle option. And then plank. The hardest one is you step back to plank chaturanga. That's a yoga push-up, up dog, down dog. And if you feel like you want another plank, you can do that now. If you feel like you want a few yoga push-ups, if you feel like you need to keep moving, if you feel like you need to just hold a stretch, because you're all going to need different things, of course. So some of you feel like, oh, I feel like I need to move more. And some people are like, oh, I just need to hold a stretch. So just get what you need before I do the other side of that lunge. So you make it right for your body today. Yep. Yeah, and then we're going to, however you like, get that left foot forward now. Get that knee alignment, get that posterior pelvic tilt, and then elbows clasp the less natural way. And then you can look straight ahead, or you can, if it feels okay, you can look up a little bit and just holding. Make sure the shoulders are down, that chest is lifted, but the lower ribs aren't jutting out. And just make it feel good. That's the most important thing. Make it feel good for you. And you can always ask for a different pose. You can always make it a bit easier. You can always make it a bit harder. Just get that front foot further forward. Trying to straighten the back leg more without arching into your lower back too much or hyperextending. So a little bit of extension. A little bit of extension, but not jamming up. That's good. Final inhalation. Okay, and then exhale. Coming to Tadasana, and you've got options. So one option is to stay in the middle of the room, especially with shoulder injuries. Another option is hands on the wall. You know that one, this one. Another option is a handstand. Another option is a half handstand. So there's all those options. So handstand, or half handstand, or just a forward bend, or a bit of this, a bit of that. If you want the advanced one, handstand in the middle of the room. Handstand push-ups. Okay, good. Looks good, everyone. Intelligent yoga, all doing our own thing a bit, not all doing exactly the same thing. Final few breaths in whatever you're doing there. Okay, and then come into your yoga mat, and we're going to bring our legs out wide. So step or jump your feet out wide, and then we're going to go warrior two towards the right leg. So turn the left toes in, right toes out. So check your alignment of your back arm and your front kneecap facing over middle three toes. Squeeze out your pelvic floors. You should feel stretching your inner thighs, and then you're rotating your neck. So just hold that pose. It's going to be 30 to 60 second hold. So you should be using your glutes. I'm going to check your alignment. So your glutes are on. That foot. Put your front foot in alignment. Oh, you know. Yep. Good. Your front foot in alignment with the centre of the back inner arch. Good. Yeah. I'm probably not exact with the timing. So, roughly 1 minute. Because I'm not actually looking at the clock. But you're about there now, I reckon. So deep strength and flexibility into the hips. See if you can hold your arms there. It's optional. And then swap to the other leg. Check your alignment, and then you are rotating your neck, looking over I'm just checking your front knee alignment, your shoulders down, and your rib cage balance of your pelvis. So you're quite a neutral spine here. She's not really twisting, you're not really side bending, you're not arching, you're not forward bending. You've got quite a neutral spine working around that. Good, reaching through the crown, reaching through the fingers a bit too. Yeah, you're 2 inches too wide. Just back it off a touch. Good. That's good. Yeah, so sitting down into the pose. Final few breaths in Virabhadrasana 2. Okay, and then centre up and step or maybe jump feet together. Okay, and then just keep facing that direction. Clasp your fingers and press some old shoulder injuries that's aggravating. So just maybe go to there. You just take it to your edge. So you're not tensing your neck, and I'm checking no one's arching into their back for this one. So obviously, if you're on YouTube, you kind of need to have somebody check you or get into a class And make sure the teacher does look, because some teachers aren't really looking at the students. They're just doing the exercises. Good. Yeah, make sure your lower ribs don't jut out. Squeeze those elbows straight, far enough for your breasts. It's a simple one, but it's really good for not getting rounded, not getting stiff in the shoulders. Okay, inhale and exhale, release your arms down. Okay, and then step or jump feet out wide. Turn the shoulders in and out, in, out. Check your alignment of your feet too. And mindful of your pelvic floors. When they're stretched, the muscles aren't as strong, so squeeze them in a bit. If you can't get a lift and you're feeling downward pressure, bring your feet closer. And then turn your shoulders in. Some of you try reverse prayer, but if you can't get that, go back to your elbows clasped. And then if you like, look up a bit, or easier is look up a little bit, harder is trying to look behind the head for a couple of breaths. So just make it your edge, trying to relax. And then when you're ready, when you next inhale, one more lift, and then when you exhale, go forward in your own time, and just see if you can just relax forward a bit, but not being lazy in the knees. So squeezing up the inner upper corners of the knees, which is a lazy area of that joint. And yet you're holding your shoulders back, so it's not completely passive and relaxing. So it's quite, if you're stiff, it's harder because you can't just fold forward so much. But you're trying to just relax forward a bit, rest forward a bit if you can. Yes, very good, very good. Very good. Next exhalation, final exhalation. Try to go a little bit further. Make sure you switch on your core to come up and push your hips forward. Okay, and then hands on your hips and rotate so the right foot is forward. Okay, and if you don't have a yoga block, and if you're stiff and you're at home, just have a chair in front of you or a wall in front of you. But otherwise, if you're quite flexible, have a yoga block in front of you. So your right foot's forward, and we're going to open our wings, or the wall in front of you. Okay, so squeeze in your inner thighs, stabilise, squeeze your glutes a bit, squeeze up your knees, shoulder blades pull in, and then exhale, we're going to rotate to the right. So right foot forward, turn to the right, and then lean halfway into your reverse triangle. So pause there with a straight back, which I'm going to come and check. And if you can still keep a straight back, put your left hand on the block. But if you start to round out or your back heel's coming up, put your left hand on the chair or the wall. And you can have right hand on hip, or you can reach the right arm up. Let's just have a look at that one. Yeah. So another classical yoga pose involves flexibility, strength and balance all together, and also posture, straightening out your spine, lengthening out your spine. So it strengthens and loosens your back and your hips at the same time. It's actually quite core. Yeah, good. Yeah, you're trying to have straight legs, straight back. If you just step the foot in a bit, it's a bit easier. That back foot, yeah. And then next exhalation, final exhalation in that pose. Make sure your core is on to come up. Pick up your block, if you have a block, and just swivel around so your left foot is forward now. Or you can just swap your feet, but otherwise we'll do it the tricky way today. So the front row is the back row. The back row is the front row. Okay, so open your wings, stabilise through your feet and your inner thighs, and then turn to the left, getting that spinal rotation there, and then just lean halfway, stabilising there for a bit. And then if you're a bit stiffer, have your right hand on the chair or the wall, and if you're a bit more flexible, the block or the floor. But it's not, I don't really care who's flexible, who's stiffer. I just want to see good alignment through your spine mainly, and you're relaxing a bit, but you are working a bit in the pose. I'd lengthen, reach the crown of the tailbone in opposite direction. You keep squeezing up your knees, Great. Lengthen and rotate. Lift the chest and rotate. Hold strongly through that back leg. Nice. Good. Good. Final exhalation, next exhalation. And pick up that block and put it back at the front of your yoga mat. Okay, and then remember the options. One option could just hands on the chair or the wall, or just stretch forward. If you feel like something more vigorous, a hanging bar, a handstand, a vinyasa. So vinyasa would be like plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. That's another option. There's a few options. If you feel like moving or doing a sun salutation type style, Ashtanga A. Just see what you feel like. Okay, balancing out whatever you're doing, and then finding a spot on the wall and just sitting down. And I'm going to time for 1 minute once you're all there at the wall. So you could have feet and knees together, or you could have feet and knees apart, the same distance. So I'm going to start now, 60 seconds. So see if you can go for 60 seconds and sit right down so your thighs are like a tabletop. I'm going to try to do it with you. I'm going to need to breathe though. I'm already feeling it. It's only 15 seconds. So. You don't need to do meditative, slow in and out through the nose here. If you want. Ooh, that's halfway. 30 more seconds if you can. So if you're finding it's easy, just bring your bottom a tiny bit lower and you'll find it's a bit harder. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I felt my thighs anyway. Okay, back to the middle. And if you need the wall, because it's one leg. So first we're just going to clasp our fingers and heel in and heel in. So just doing that first. Pointing the foot. Don't look down, look straight ahead. Shoulders down, chest lifted. And point the foot. Keep pulling the shoulders down and back a little bit. Okay, and then try if you can get your fingertips together and hold the left heel in. So hold the left heel in and try to get your fingertips together and try to make your elbows straighter. Oh, it's hard. Try to point your foot. And then see if you grab your foot. Inhale. Pull the heel in first. Take a few breaths. Get the quad stretch. And exhale, extending out and get the hip and the left shoulder stretch. Just keep your eyes steady. Final inhalation. And then exhale back to Tadasana. And then clasp the fingers the less natural way. And then see if you can bring your fingertips together and straighten your elbows and hold your arms back. And then also your right heel in. So hold here first, not grabbing the foot yet. Shoulders down, reach the crown of the head. And then see if you can pull the heel in first to get the quad stretch from the chair pose. And then try to get the hip flexor stretch from the chair pose and the boat pose. And trying to get the foot towards the wall behind you and the chest towards the wall in front of you. So just taking it to your edge and balancing, balance, strength and flexibility. Okay, one more breath there. And then releasing back to Tadasana. Okay, so bring your feet together, and then if you can, reverse prayer or elbows clasped the less natural way. Because earlier you might have done the more natural way when we did the wide-legged forward bend. So you're going to hold the hands there, shoulders pulled down and back, and try and lift the heels up, and then bend the knees a bit. Trying to keep your heels up. So you're really challenging lots of muscles here in your legs, in your ankles, in your feet, all your leg muscles really, from your toes to your hips. And then straighten out. Okay, and then clasp your fingers and bring your heels down. And we'll do that again with the fingers clasped and the shoulders down and back. So fingers like that, and then heels up. And then bend your knees just to your edge. Maintain the heels up, shoulders down, chest lifted. Feeling lots of muscles stabilising. And then slowly lift your heels up, straight legs, and then slowly lower your heels down. Bring your hands into prayer at the front, and then push your hands together a bit, and then move your hands away from you and reaching up as far as you can, that you're holding those shoulders down, those lower ribs in, and it's not jamming up too much jamming up too much in your neck. So I sort of feel like if I got it there, it's jamming, so I'm just going to keep it here. Bend into your knees now. Also, palms apart's easier. So palms apart is much easier as well, so I'm actually going to do that. But harder to push your hands together if you feel like harder, and harder to straighten your elbows, and harder obviously to get your arms up, bottom lower, arms higher. So feel your calf muscles lengthen. Great alignment there. Inhale. Okay, and then exhale. Most of you bring your feet hip width stretched forward. Some of you keep your feet together, but hip width is easier or wider than hip width. Just stretch forward and do what feels good. So you might clasp your elbows. You might, rocking a little bit feels quite good. Some of you bend your knees more so you don't overstretch. And then step your left foot back into a low lunge, and the block might come in handy for some of you. You're going to reach the right arm up. So it should be left foot back. And some of you can keep your left hand on the floor, and still, I'm looking for no rounded spines here. So I'm going to have a look at your alignment here. Hold. So this is good for loosening your hips and strengthening and loosening your spine. Good. Left hip, left shoulder blade, front of the right chest opening out. Yeah, good. Just get a bit more lift to your chest. Use that block there. Yeah. Yep. Good, good, good. Yes, good. Okay. That's it. Okay, one more breath. Reach up, inhale. Okay, exhale down to the low lunge for a few breaths. So you're trying to get your hips lower. You might try to creep your front foot further forward. And 2 blocks is, yes, that's good. Lynn's onto it there. If you're a bit stiffer, it's good to have 2 blocks. And some of you, the fingertips. If I put the palms of the hands down, I know my spine's rounded. So I'm going to use my fingertips to get more height, but we're all doing our own thing there. Good, good. That's it. Oh, yeah, where's the other? Okay, good, good, good. One more breath, inhale. And step back to the front of the mat and stretch forward for a few breaths. And then step. See if you can focus on which foot you're stepping back. That's the other foot. Yeah, right. And which direction you're turning. And let's have a look at those straight backs. Just try and just sink your hips down a bit, lift your chest up. You're trying to get that front foot, Louise, a bit further forward, ideally. It's just a bit easier on the knee. Yeah, you meant to have the other foot back.
I think I've done the same.
Yeah. No, you're going the right direction. Just swap the legs. Yeah, left foot forward now. Yeah, that's it. And then do that direction, because that's the right direction. That hand there, that hand there. That's good, Ali, that's good, Ali. One more breath, inhale. And then put your hand back down and hold that one. Just the low lunge, which is a great pose for deep hip flexibility and also posture, because some people do it all hunched and it's not good for your back muscles and you're still getting a hip stretch, but I want you to get that lift through your chest. So you're doing flexibility in the hips and strength in your back as well. So good, not getting a rounded posture. Chest lifted, shoulder blades down and in. Good, very good. Inhale. And then when you're ready, down dog or plank chaturanga, up dog, down dog. If you feel like moving, do a few push-ups. If you feel like the class is a bit easy, do a few push-ups. If you feel like you want it to be easier, do a child's pose. Do child's pose. So sometimes easier is more benefit, more health, anti-aging health benefit. If you always go hard, that's actually not that good. If you're always easy on yourself, that's not great either. So tuning into what you need today, making wise decisions most of the time. Okay, good. So you might step or jump to a squat. And some of you might just squat. You might feel that's safe for your knees and your pelvic floors. And some of you will actually do, it's like a squat. It's like a squat lying on your back. So you're still going to get a benefit, but it's less pressure on your ankles, knees, and also your pelvic floors. Okay, and try not to hunch into the squat. So try to just keep your chest slightly lifted and get the head into the most comfortable place it could be. Connecting into the channels, the vagus nerve and the cranial, the channels to the brain, getting that neck into alignment where the muscles are as relaxed as they could be and your face is soft. And we're just holding a few stretches now. Good. And then sitting on your bottom to Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together. And if you're stiffer, put your hands there and just use your hands to get a bit of lift out of the lower spine. And you'll feel that's enough for your body, and sitting on the block is great too. But some of you are a bit more flexible, so you can do a little bit more, but not hunching. So shoulders down, chest lifted up a bit, get a bit of a lift out of the lower spine to do the right thing by your lower lumbar and your future spine. So we all want to slow down aging of the spine and degenerative changes. Can't stop it, but we can slow it down. And grateful for every day, because some people don't get to grow old. So grateful for every day you're healthy. Nice, good alignment with your knees. You're all quite balanced in the pose and no one's hunching too much. So yes, trying to relax into it for a bit longer. Baddha Konasana. Make it feel good. When we were young, we could all touch our head and our toes here. Don't force that, but you're trying to go in that direction as much as, because naturally as we age, we're going further and further away, getting stiffer and stiffer. But if keeping up your yoga, you can prevent getting stiffer or slow it down, or if you do enough, you can become more flexible, but you've got to do a lot of it. I'm just happy not to get stiffer, because I don't want to do that much yoga to be in, I don't want to, I prefer to do other things, and I prefer to go surfing and go for a cycle and a walk and do more Pilates for strength. But yeah, it's great to hold a stretch. Final exhalation. Keep your core on to come up out of that one. Okay, and then I'm just going to prop onto our elbows and lift our feet up and turn our knees out. So just for 30 seconds. You can lie on your back if you like, or you can prop on your elbows back, and you're trying to internally rotate your thighs. So you're using a few muscles. Feet a bit higher, Colleen. Yep, that's it. 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. So some of you, you know pigeon, you bring your right leg forward, your left foot back like that, inhale. And the other option, exhale, that's one option for some of you. The other option for some of you, because you know your knees are a bit tricky, and you'll get the same benefit here. You actually get the same stretch. It's just easier for osteoarthritis in the knees and safer for osteoporosis in the hips. So a lot of people have those conditions, even one or the other or both. So aren't you lucky to get old and get osteoarthritis? So you ask, there's a lot of people get cancer in their 20s and 30s, and they say they would love to have wrinkles and stiff hips. They wouldn't care at all to grow. They wouldn't complain at all. Yeah. So as you hold this stretch, I want you to practice a slower and a slightly slower and deeper than your normal everyday breath. So 5 or 6 counts in through your nose. And then 5 or 6 counts out through your nose. So as we work on our flexibility, we're also working on our nervous system, our respiratory system, our lungs, and we're holding our attention as well, working the brain. Final few breaths, you can get a little bit more release to the deep hips. No force, and make sure your knee is happy. And then lifting your chest. You've never been so quiet. You can still be cheeky just because I'm recording on YouTube. You can still be cheeky. Okay, inhale. And then exhale. You can go to downward dog if you feel like downward dog, or you can just put your feet in the air. If you're on your back, just put your feet in the air. Straighten out your legs. And then the other hip of whatever pose you're working on. So maybe Kapottanasana, the pigeon pose, or I call it abductor stretch, like that. So holding and practicing just a slightly slower and deeper than your normal breath, which will have an effect on your nervous system. For the next hour or so, there's an echo of the breath work, echo of the yoga in the nervous system, which goes into the endocrine system, the inflammation markers going to the immune system, going to the digestive system, going in how the quality of your sleep tonight, your mood, even it will affect how much you eat tonight. So if you get into a meditative state, you've actually got more of the you've had enough to eat, you're full hormone. I think it's leptin, and when you're relaxed, you have less of the you're hungry hormone. But when you're stressed, you have more ghrelin, you're hungry, eat, and you have less of the that's enough, you're full now. So it's a lot to do with your hormones, your endocrine system, your balance of how eating enough, not too much. Final few breaths. Okay, so you are actually not going back to downward dog. We're all going to lay on our back with our feet in the air and squeeze up our knee muscle. So squeeze our knees straight. So people often say, oh, yoga's not enough cardio. It's not enough cardio. I want to lose weight. I want to burn off what I've eaten. They don't get that actually yoga balance, when you have a balanced nervous system and an endocrine system, you just don't eat as much and you make healthier choices because you're more connected into your body. And actually, that's the way to have a good, healthy weight, actually. That's good. Okay, we're going to hug our knees in. And then we're going to push our feet away and sitting up. Okay, so some of you can comfortably kneel, just ordinary old kneeling, and some of you might stand on your knees or sit on a chair or I like this one, sitting on a block. And I've even got kneeling cushion, a kneeling stool for if you feel like you can't kneel at all. Colleen, it might be good for your knees. I'll show you in a sec, and Bridget. But you might need a strap. I'll get you in the pose anyway, and then I'll help a few people. So you might need a strap, and whichever elbow up, whichever elbow up, whichever elbow down. Just don't force that. So holding. So these are called kneeling meditation stools, and they're quite good for if you can't kneel. So you just like that. Where does it go? I think it goes. Just have a go. Just sit. You might put it. Yeah. Is it okay? Still not good enough? Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it. You had a go. Final few breaths, and should reach one elbow up and one elbow down. So good for not getting rounded, that one. And then releasing and just swapping over whichever your other side is. And just slow it, just gently. One side will be stiffer. Close your eyes, it helps you. Just holding at your edge. Keeping with that calm, quiet, steady breath. One more breath. And then releasing. Straighten out your legs out in front of you. Sit up straight. Try to pull your sitting bones back. Spread your toes as wide as you can, and lift your chest. And some of you on your block or your bolster would be good to get that lift of the lower spine as well. And if you're really stiff, bend your knees to get that vertical lift. So I don't want you to be like this. Okay, and then exhale, stretch forward. So stiffer people, this is what it probably looked like, because I don't want you to be actually doing the wrong thing by your spine. I want you to get that lift of the lower spine, and you can fold in a tiny bit, but not hunching too much. So that's if you're stiffer, and you will feel a stretch in the back of the body, in the back of the legs and spine. And obviously some people are more flexible, but it doesn't really matter about flexibility, who's stiff, who's flexible. If we're all at our edge, we're all feeling it, we're getting a sensation in our muscular system, and that's going to go into our nervous system, and then we're focusing, we've got that attitude, we're grateful for our healthy body, and that's the biggest benefit. It's not so much about if you're flexible or not, it's how you feel when you hold a stretch, when you meditate, when you exercise. I find it's great medicine. I always feel more calm, and I always feel more positive, and sometimes you feel tired, but actually it's quite energizing when you get quite experienced with yoga and you don't overdo things, you learn how to get it right. It's energizing. I used to not know that. I used to always overdo yoga and I'd be exhausted. Final few breaths in that one. Make sure after you stretch your lower back, you switch on your deep core, because your lower back muscles, if they're stretched, they're not as strong for lifting you up. So move from the core. Okay, and then we're going to do bridge block. So you need a block or a book at home or a bolster. So this is the easiest. You put it behind your sacrum, you have your knees bent. So if you're really stiff or your lower backs, you need to be very careful with your lower back. But harder is straight legs, harder is the block higher. So it's behind your sacrum. So it's not into your lumbar, it's right down low on your spine. And we're holding this for 2 minutes. And it's for balancing our spine from too much sitting. Now don't try to control your breath, just focus on the natural breath. Hopefully it's a quiet, steady, calm breath. Just notice if you keep wandering, your mind keeps wandering, think about this, think about that, got to do this, got to do that. Just keep bringing your awareness back, working on our head as much as our body. Working on having more present, steady, grateful mind, loving, accepting of ourselves and others. No one's perfect, we're all doing our best. One more minute. If it doesn't feel right, take the block out, just lie on your back. Or bend your knees. Your lower back should feel comfortable, should feel relaxing. Nice lift through your belly. Slowing down aging, slowing down the disc starting to bulge out at the back as we get older. Just balancing the spinal discs. Okay, so slowly put your feet down, take the block out and come down vertebrae by vertebrae. Good. Then hug your knees in. Either roll up or push your feet away, sitting up. Sit on your block or sit on your bottom for a few minutes just sitting and focusing on really slow, taking the breath to another notch of breath work of steady inhale, 6. We're going to try for 6, 9, 6 inhale, 9 exhale, and then hold the breath out to your edge, keeping everything calm for a few minutes. And then we're going to put our legs up the wall, and then we're going to lie in Shavasana. So first, sitting up straight, focus on your breath, natural breath. Pull your sit bones back. Don't always have the same foot in front. You have palms up or palms down. And before you do any breath work, get your posture right, get your chest lifted, and particularly get your heavy head in the right place, because if the channels to the nerve channels and circulation channels and spinal cord and muscular tension is around your neck, if your head's in the right place, you almost automatically go into a meditation state. Your channels open up through the crown, so get a sense of that, what the yogis are talking about there. Yeah, it looks, and when you get that most relaxed place your head could be in, it just is in alignment. And then we're going to do really slow inhale, about 6 counts in. An even slower exhale, about 9 counts out. And that's enough for some of you, but some of you now also hold your breath out for a little bit. Don't worry about the time. You know when it's at your edge because you get a bit of uncomfortable feeling. And then do the steady inhale, try to keep it all controlled. So everybody doing their own thing. This is really good medicine. Bring the carbon dioxide up a bit. It's vasodilation. It's anti-aging medicine. It's dilating your blood vessels, especially good for your brain, your skin, your bones even, your trillions of cells. Especially good for your sinuses and lungs. Finishing off, inhale, exhale, hold, and then normal breathing. When you're finished, put your legs up the wall or in the middle of the room, or shoulder stand for some of you, and then Shavasana. So beginners definitely have the wall because then you can really relax your thighs. And if your hamstrings are tight, definitely the wall. So it's nice to understand why you would practice yoga breathing. What's the point of it? Well, maybe you don't need to understand. Maybe you just know you feel relaxed and calm. Maybe you just feel, it just feels nice, and that can be enough. You don't have to know what's happening in your body, except I like to know. I like to understand what is happening what the exercise is doing and how it works, because that motivates a lot of us to do more of it. So understanding, when you're young, you just know it feels good. You feel good, so you just want to do more yoga. But when we're older, it's nice to understand what actually is happening, because as we get older, our blood vessels are actually narrowing. It's just part of life. So we can't stop it, but we can slow down aging. So we've got over 100,000 kilometres of blood vessels. Circulation is a massive deal. Most people, that's how they die in the end. You have a stroke or a heart attack, a cardiac event. A blood vessel just closes. So if we can vasodilate, dilate our blood vessels through cardiovascular exercise, warm bath, sauna, cold water. The ocean will vasoconstrict, but then you'll vasodilate. Cold water, it's got to be under 16, so probably not here in the ocean. Don't know about the shower in winter. I think it doesn't even get under. Yoga breathing, slower than normal breathing. Basically, slower than normal breathing and holding a breath is the most powerful way to vasodilate, is actually holding your breath. But right now, you've done enough. Just right now, just normal breathing. So most of the time, normal breathing in and out, not holding your breath, not deep breathing, not huffing and puffing. Yeah, it's good if you have blocked sinuses, congestion in your lungs, long COVID. It's always calming, slowing down, and then you're actually getting a circulation effect, an anti-aging effect into your trillions of cells, actually getting more of the oxygen molecule release through the blood vessels into the mitochondria, into the cells. So it's actually energizing as well. And then we've got one more pose, lying on our back. And if your neck's arched, something under your head. If your back's overarching, something under your feet. If you're feeling the cold, put a blanket over you. And it's nice to have a blanket over you. And I know some people on YouTube are in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's, well, this YouTube, they might not watch it for, somebody might find me in 2 years' time, and who knows what, this video is going to last forever, as long as YouTube lasts. So if you thought, oh, this is a nice class, I really enjoyed that class, well, you can do it over and over. You can do it every day for the next 20 years. But I probably wouldn't want to mix it up. So enjoy this pose. Enjoy the effects of just a general, most of you would have found that quite an easy class, except some people at home might have found it hard if they've... Better than last Monday when we did 22 Pilates exercises. So, and it's nice sometimes to go slowly, not always go hard. And on the public holidays, I always do just a general all over class. So just feel your natural breath now, and a sense of your heart, if your heart could talk, and if your blood vessels could talk, they'd say, oh, we like yoga. We really benefit off it. Just your heart is all connected to you, and your breath and your heart rate. It's all connected to your mental state, your emotional state, your posture, your physical state. And in yoga, they say you're born with a certain number of heartbeats. And so if you go through life huffing, puffing, over-breathing, stressing, impatient, then you probably wouldn't live for as long. I think we all know that. There's a lot of truth in that. If you go around, you're just quite calm, quiet breathing. Your heart should last for longer. But if you know you're a bit of a stress head, you just need more yoga, more of the medicine, anti-anxiety medication. See if you can relax your face a bit more, jaw, tongue, throat, eyeballs heavy, eyeballs steady, brain waves slowing down, monkey mind slowing down, a bit more connected into the present, a bit more connected into ourselves, a bit more connected into deep peace which is inside us. Just feeling your bones and feeling heavy. Just feeling your muscles, which had a gentle all over, very gentle contraction, gentle stretch. The muscles just feel like they're falling away from the bone. Your body's melting down into the pose. See if you can hold your mind in the pose just one more minute. holding your mind, not just your body in the pose, just feeling your natural breath in and out. And if anybody's still doing this on YouTube, that's commitment to do 70 minutes. I never last 70 minutes at home. I just do 20 minutes. But when you go to a class, it's just it's nice in the group too. So thanks everyone. Wriggle fingers and toes. Bring your knees in and roll to the side when you're ready. And you're meant to say, hit subscribe. Oh God, you get over that being a YouTuber. Hit subscribe because it's good for the algorithm. It likes more subscribers. Anyway, thanks everyone. Thank you.